we have some changes. So, we got the funny looking gorilla. That can't possibly really.
My brother is sleeping.
Your younger brother is sleeping. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How could he be? You have a younger brother? I thought you had a younger sister. You got a younger brother and a younger sister?
Yeah.
So there's 3 kids. Oh, okay. How old's your brother?
My brother about 3 years old.
3 years old. And your sister?
My sister 8 years old.
So 3, 8, and 10.
No, I'm 11 now.
Oh, you're 11 now. In Vietnamese years or real years?
Vietnamese year.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. The rest of outside of Vietnam, the rest of the world would consider you 10 because they don't count the pregnancy part. So it's a little bit different. So what's your brother doing sleeping now? It's a little late for sleeping.
I need to use my old computer.
So that means what? That you're not going to have a camera?
I have camera, but I can't hear you very well.
You can't hear me very well. What does hearing me very well have to do with the camera? Aha. Green and white cupboards. Or wardrobe, I guess we should call it. Probably a wardrobe. There's Mimi Milo. How's Mimi Milo today? She has a new earphones with a little speaker on it. Hello, Blackie. You're very black today.
Okay. Hi, my room is so shine today, but
Where's your light? Where's your light?
it comes from the window and my
Yeah, but
light.
you need a light in front of you so we can see your face. Oh, now you look like Lily's avatar, the black monkey, the gorilla.
Why? Why so dark?
Because you're so dark. All we see is the fur, the hair.
My friend said I'm so white.
You don't have a light on your desk? You must have a light on your desk somewhere.
So I just have this.
Oh, that light. Turn it more towards your body or something. Yeah, need to fix that a little bit. I'm having a lot of problems with people with their lights today. What? All right. I'm just about finished your video editing, so I should be able to post it tonight, Mimi Milo. And then I'll get in it. The first one always takes longer because all the new templates. But then I'll be able to finish Lily and Emma and well, Yashini still didn't do her test yet. I don't know what's going on with Yashini. But we do have Donnie is back. He's supposed to be here tonight, but it looks like he's late. Unbelievable. So all I know for sure now is Lily, Mimi, and Donnie. And hopefully Yashini's coming back, but Emma will come back a little later, I think. All right, so I got my vocab ready. And we're going to start a new Interest 20. Woo-hoo. B1, Interest 20. This one is Legends. And I still don't have a new cover on my book. What? Why is it I don't have a new cover on my book? Today we are going to... This one is called Legends, I think. If I had a cover on my book, I would know what the theme of this course is. But again, there's no cover on my book. So I'm guessing, and I'm pretty sure this one's Legends, because we're going to talk about lots of famous people, and we're going to talk about, there's a couple of different ones. We're going to talk about cyber crimes too, but we're going to talk about Shakespeare. We're going to talk about classic stories of vampires. Today, we're going to talk about, do you know, Lily? Do you know who Robin Hood is?
Let's search me.
No.
Yeah, Mimi Milo, you know who Robin Hood is?
No.
Was?
Yes, I'm searching Google.
You what?
I'm searching Google.
You're searching on Google.
Yeah.
They made many movies of him. Yeah, we're going to do a classic Shakespeare story of Romeo and Juliet. We're going to, but we still have a crime thing. And then not so clever, some really, really stupid criminals. It's kind of funny. That lesson's really funny. Some of the things that they've done. Then we're going to talk about Stephen King. He was a huge novelist when I was a kid. He used to write scary books. And and someone went to jail for changing materials in books in a library. So yeah, Robin Hood is a very, very famous folktale. So the thing is, this is way back in like 1200s. So it's I think 1200s. Is it the 1200s? That's how long ago? Maybe 1300s. Where? I don't see it. Okay. Yeah. So 1200s. Yeah. So this is like 800 years ago. No one really knows if he really existed or not. But they have a museum there, and they say that he lived in Nottingham Forest and that he used to fight against King Richard at that time in England. And he was a hero because he used to, the king was really mean to the people, but always taxed them a lot. And the sheriff, the guy who we got now, trouble is here. Oli Macaroni. I don't know if you know this guy. He lives just outside Comfa. But I don't think you guys have ever met Donnie. Who that? Who is that coming into my class late? Still connecting. Is that Mr. Donnie? It looks like he's a laggy today too. Is that a Mr. Donnie? Who is that?
It's Donnie.
Oh my God, it's the Black Donnie. Donnie lives in a cave too.
No.
Oh my God, now we can see my Weigh me. What the heck, weigh me? How much do you weigh? 55 kilo? Wait a minute. Oh, there's Donnie. Mr. Donnie, are you in jail again?
No.
Are you in? It looks like you're in jail. Did they put you in prison?
No.
No. How is Donnie?
I feel happy today.
You feel, of course you feel happy. You're back in interest with Trevor.
Yes.
Yeah, and you passed your high school entry tests.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you're on holiday now.
Yes.
How's mom?
Hey, mom. She's downstairs.
I said, how is she?
She happy.
She's happy. She's happy because you're back in class. How's dad?
He happy too.
Dad's happy too. How's Trevette?
I don't know. She's good.
Donnie's sister is Trevette. Donnie's mom used to teach at Newway in Comfa. This is quite a while ago. This is like 6 or 7 years ago, I think. But yeah. All right. So Robin Hood, back to Robin Hood. You can see on the first lesson 1, page 86. He was a master archer. Archer is the person who does bow and arrows. But they didn't have guns back in the 1200s. And what he used to do is he was very angry with the king and the sheriff. The sheriff is kind of the representative of the king. It's different in the US than it is in England, but they call him the sheriff. But basically it's like the police for the king. And he was a very mean man too. And they taxed the people really badly. And they made it very hard. They were very cruel. So Robin Hood decided to fight back. Him and a group of other men, and probably women too, fought back against them. And what they would do is they would steal from the rich and the king and the police every chance they could, and then give it all back to the poor people. So that's what made Robin Hood famous. He was like, they called him the Prince of Thieves. And that's where that word comes from, the Prince of Thieves. He would steal from the rich and give to the poor. So, of course, the sheriff of Nottingham, I forget his name, we'll find out about him there in the reading. And the king, King Richard, I believe it was at that time. Those are real people. They're real for sure. Always tried to catch him, of course, because they made him an outlaw, a bad person. But they could never catch him because he would always hide in Nottingham or Sherwood Forest, which was a huge forest. And that's what the king's land, and that's where the king would hunt all his deer and things like that. But Robin Hood and all his men and his gang would hide and live in the forest, and they could never find him. So this is the story, kind of like fairy tale. We know fairy tale is different. Fairy tale is when you have unicorns and you have dragons and mythical creatures. So it's totally fake, of course. Fairies and all this stuff, like Peter Pan, is a fairy tale, right? It's not even an old story. But as I said, Robin Hood, they even have a museum in Nottingham, which is the town right next to Sherwood Forest. About a million people a year go visit the forest and go visit the museum about Robin Hood. But because it's so long ago, nobody can prove whether or not Robin Hood really, really existed or not. Now, maybe the king got rid of all the records so that they couldn't prove that he existed and he was just a story. But a lot of people do believe that Robin Hood existed. So you have to go there and find out, I guess. So yeah, this is a long time ago. Because we know about Alexander the Great and we know about the Roman generals and emperors, and they're all in history. But for some reason, and again, it could just be because they kind of erased part of the history in England. Maybe, who knows? Whether or not Robin Hood really, really, truly existed or not. But I have a feeling, well, for sure, many, many people believe he did exist. Okay. So, Donnie, you know the routine. You were in Interest 18.
Did we?
You were. Yashini was the vocab champion. So at the moment, we have no vocab champion. It's wide open. So we're going to start our vocab challenge just like before. Bada bing, bada boom. What are they doing? Rob. They're robbing the store. Yeah. He's robbing your mail. He took the Amazon package and ran away. Unbelievable. So rude. Yeah. To rob someone is to, I'll use violence usually, but the gun and stuff. To take money or property illegally from a place, an organization, a person, often using violence. Yeah. So to rob a store, to rob a bank, rob. And also, what do we call the person who robs?
Robist.
A robist? No. Robist is not a word. Donnie.
Yes.
What do we call the person who does the robbing? A what?
Excuse.
Excuse.
No. Can you hear me well?
I hear you very well. And I heard scouse.
But I can't hear you well.
You can't hear me well? What do you mean you can't hear me well? I hear me very well, very well.
I don't know why.
You need to get those little Q-tips like this. And you clean your ears.
Mm.
No.
No.
My computer have some problem.
Your computer always has some problems. I thought your mom bought a brand new laptop.
Yeah.
But she took it.
Yeah, of course. And my dad bought a laptop too, but
He took it too.
yeah.
So your mom bought you a new laptop, but then she took it back. And then your dad bought you a laptop and he took that one back too. And now they still left you with a crappy laptop. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Protest. I want a new laptop. I want a new laptop. Unbelievable. All right. So that was Mimi Milo who got that one. All right. No, Mimi got it. The person that does it, the person that robs is called a robber. Robber. What do you call the crime? So here this robber comes and robs the store. Then he gets arrested and they charge him with a crime. What is the crime called?
Criminal.
Huh?
Criminal.
You're breaking up a bit.
Spell.
So the robber robbed the store and then he got charged with robbery. Robbery. Robbery is the charge of what he would be charged with for robbing the store. Rob is the verb, robber is the person, robbery is the charge. Rob. Next. I'm not listening to you. I'm not hearing you. I don't know who you are.
Distract.
Well, she's trying to distract him,
Lock.
but he's not listening. Talk to the hand. What, Donnie?
Block.
Block? No, block is they can't call you. Donnie?
Ignore.
Explore?
Ignore.
Ignore. Yeah, Donnie got it first. Ignore someone. Yeah, when you're not listening to them and you pretend they're not there, you're ignoring them. What? Oh, I can't see Lily, can't hear Milo,
The Wi-Fi
and
getting trouble.
can't see Donnie either. All I see is his hair.
I need to restart my computer now.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
And Donnie and Milo are mumbling.
What is mumbling?
Mumbling is like when you're talking, but nobody can understand what you're saying. Then that person is mumbling, mumbo jumbo. Mumbling.
I think you can understand. Maybe.
Mumbling. Everybody's mumbling. Dun, 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 dun. To ignore someone is to not pay any attention to them, to not listen to them, to pretend that they're not even there, right? If someone's trying to call you and you just keep ignoring the call, you not answering the call, then you're ignoring that person. And this woman is getting very upset because she's trying to get his attention, but he's not listening. He's just doing something, texting on his phone, and he's not listening. He is ignoring, not paying any attention to her. And she's getting angry. Have you ever ignored anybody? You're ignoring me. Is that what you're doing?
No.
Mm-hmm. Milo's got blue eyes. She's an alien. And she's frozen. She's definitely frozen. Blue-eyed Mimi Milo is frozen.
Yes. So frozen too.
Okay, I'm gonna kick you out and sign back in. See if we get a better connection. All right, next one is gonna be to control.
King and queen.
What do king and queens do over their land and their countries? What do they do? All right. The king is the what of the
Control.
land?
Control.
What?
Control.
Petrol. What, Lily?
Leader?
Well, he is the leader, but what does a leader do? He leads and he over the people, over the land.
Request.
Request is
Control.
to ask for something. Control is to remote control. It's like control. Yeah, because they control the people, they control the laws, they control the land, but there's another word for it. And it's very synonymous with kings and queens. They over the land, over their people.
Dominate.
They what, Donnie?
Dominate.
Dominate. Well, really, in some ways, they dominate. Yeah, that's true.
Is can
Dominate is like to take control over something or someone. Dominate. That's true. True. But no, that's not what it is.
Oh.
Starts with an R.
Or
R.
Who?
What is it, Mimi?
Who?
Rule. They rule over their land and their people. They are the rulers. Rulers rule. I mean, they are the boss. Right? Rule. They rule. Just like mom and dad rule over the house. They are the rulers of their house.
Oh.
Yeah. King and queens and rulers. Often we refer to kings and queens as rulers. All right. They look like they're ruling a chessboard. That's a weird room. But that's a really cool crown. All right. So let's move along. Rule the land. So like I was saying, Robin Hood is what, Donnie?
Misty.
What? No, what did you say
Legend.
first? Legend.
Legend.
Mimi Milo, legend. 3-1 for Mimi.
Need to restart my computer again.
Again, unbelievable.
And I have to restart.
I need to
restart my
tell my
Wi-Fi.
mother now.
Go tell your mom you want your laptop back.
What happened to my Wi-Fi?
Yeah, and Mimi, we have a hard time hearing you again. Even after you tested. What? Unbelievable. Let me see here. Neptune. Neptune was the king of, or the god of fresh water or the sea, I forget. Neptune, is Neptune all water? Is Neptune? Oh, okay. That's the planet Neptune. The 8th furthest furthest known solar planet from the sun. The 4th largest planet in diameter. The 3rd most massive planet. And the dense giant planet is 17 times the mass of the Earth. Wow. Neptune is 17 times bigger than planet Earth. So like Earth would be like the moon to Neptune. That's a big planet. Slightly more massive than Uranus. Uranus. Isn't that how we say it? But that's not the Neptune I'm looking for. I'm looking for Neptune, the god, the demigod, or whatever the heck he is. What is he? Here we go. There we go. The Greek. Yeah, as Lord of the Sea, Neptune has absolute control over water, like Percy, only to a much greater extent. Okay, so Neptune here. There's one, I forget which one's the other one is the god of fresh water or something, like the rivers and lakes or something like that. But this guy, Neptune, is the Greek god of the sea. So like the Mediterranean Sea, I guess. So like I said, Robin Hood is I forgot the word. Legend, right? Robin Hood is a legend in England. Neptune is the Greek god of, so he's a legend. Of course, there's no proof that any gods ever existed. So Neptune is a story as well. I guess that would be kind of more like a fairy tale. And then this one, Excalibur. I don't know what year the story is of Excalibur, but Excalibur, that's an English story too. What is it? King Arthur. I think that's England. Excalibur. I need to do some double checking on my old stories. Okay, let's see. Excalibur sword. Now, there was some kind of a story about the sword was, I think, Merlin the magician. He was from Wales. The legendary sword of King Arthur, sometimes also attributed with magical powers and associated with the rightful sovereignty of Britain. Okay, so this is England too. It was associated with the Arthurian legend very early on. So this takes place. Where does this take place? Here we go. And I believe it was Merlin. Merlin was a magician. But something happened that the sword was stuck in the rock. And only the chosen king would be able to pull the sword out of the rock. And anyone who could do that would become king. The sword and the stone are very versions said different, though any incarnation they're the same last their name. The Welsh and Welsh, yeah, okay. And Cornish, Breton. Other weapons also appear in this and other legends. Now, when is the year? When is this? Excalibur. Come on. Derives from Western. So it was a Welsh legend, the country next to England. Okay, 11th and 12th centuries. So this is like the 1000s and 1100s in those years. So again, I'm quite sure it's a legend. I don't think it's true, but I have never researched it, so I'm not quite sure. All right. Maybe that'd make a good documentary. And Kraken. Does anybody know what the Kraken legend is?
No.
The Kraken. Now, that is not the proper picture for the Kraken, but the Kraken is another mythical legend, fairy tale story about a giant, monstrous octopus, big enough to sink a ship. Like the giant octopus that we have today, they're bigger than a man, but, not that big. They can go through the door. But the Kraken was like a legendary sea monster, a huge sea monster. And it lived off the coast of Norway in the North Atlantic Ocean. Of course, it's just a story again. It's just a legend. It's not real. Yeah, so legend is the word we were looking for. Are you here, Lily?
Yes. I need to stop it. If I start my camera, it will lag again.
Oh my God. All right. We got to do something about that. All right. So there's a couple of meanings for this. Well, I mean, they have the same meaning, but they kind of have different stories. So Robin was considered one of these people. We're gonna read a story later about a fella named, and this is a true story in Australia about Ned Kelly. Ned Kelly was another Irishman who, back then, it was a British colony. So the British police and the government ruled, and they were not very nice and fair to the Irish immigrants that lived there. And they had treated Ned Kelly and his parents and his family and his neighborhood really bad. So he kind of started fighting against the authorities. And he's kind of the original Iron Man. He made like a metal armored suit and fought against police and everything like that. It was pretty crazy stuff. He was a metal worker. We're going to read about him later. He's lesson 7 or 8 or somewhere.
Outlaw?
Outlaw is the word we're looking for. That's right. Lily is on the board. Okay. So
Who said that I need to update now? That's bad.
Your computer says you have to update again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You got to argue with mommy because this is crazy. How are you going to do the classes like this? We can't sit there with a gorilla in our class. It's very
I
bad.
will choose later.
It's very bad for our editing when I put these videos on the internet. It's going to be like, what kind of class is that? He's got students and a gorilla. We need to have your video. It's very important. Okay, so an outlaw obviously means like a criminal, someone at large, right? A person who has broken the law, especially one who remains at large or is a fugitive. A fugitive is someone who escaped prison or escaped the jail. So he's free, he's out there. The police are trying to find him. They call that a fugitive, wanted by the law. And an outlaw person is someone that the government has accused of crimes. Maybe he's done it. Maybe he hasn't. Who knows? But he's at large. He or she is at large. And the police are trying to find them. So in our history, there are a lot of legends. There are a lot of stories about outlaws. And in many, many occasions, the outlaws were protected and loved by the people because, of course, they were fighting against the oppressors. They were fighting against the evil sheriff, or they were fighting against the evil governments. And in history, unfortunately, we have a very long history of very, very mean and cruel rulers in many, many countries around the world. Probably every country on the planet is guilty of that at one point or another. Even Canada, the first people there were the First Nation people, the Asians. But when the Europeans and the British and the French came, they weren't very good to the people as they took all the land. So in the Wild West, when the Americans were conquering and expanding through the United States, there were lots of, there was the cowboys and Indians, right? Like the Indians, which is the Native Americans, the first people there. There was that conflict between the new government and the native people. But there was also, as they grew and the states developed, more and more states came together and they pushed towards the West. Farmers and ranchers and cattle herders and all these rich people would buy up big pieces of land, and the laws and the police wasn't very organized. So you had a lot of crooked people, and people would steal cattle and all kinds of different things like that. And they would blackmail people and they would bully people. And there was a lot of corruption as well. So there are some legends of outlaws like Billy the Kid, which was someone had murdered his boss or someone and stole all his cattle. So he decided to make a gang and fight against the rich ranchers. But of course, the rich ranchers were politically connected. So then the army and the police tried to hunt down Billy the Kid. But he's a legend amongst folks and people. And there's Jesse James, who used to rob the banks. Not the banks, but he used to rob trains from the government and the military and give to the poor. There's a lot of outlaws. And then there are some really, really bad outlaws. In the 1940s and 50s, I think it was, you had prohibition, which was like this guy over here with the machine gun. The machine guns, where in some of the cities like Chicago and these places, they had outlaws and gangsters called Al Capone and Bugsy Siegel, and these were organized criminals, and they used to smuggle alcohol and wine and alcohol from Canada into the USA because it was illegal to sell alcohol or have alcohol in America for a long time. So this created all kinds of outlaws. And Robin Hood was an outlaw because the king wanted to arrest him, and lots and lots and lots of stories. They make great movies. But basically, an outlaw just means someone wanted by the police at large. Okay, outlaw. Right, Donnie? Are you an outlaw?
No.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, someone told me you were an outlaw, that you robbed the
No.
bank. No, okay. Are you back, Lily?
Yeah.
All right. Aha. Another legend. So I kind of said the word earlier. That's kind of like what Robin Hood is. And these stories, I think there's 14 of them. I can't remember. 1001 Nights. These are Arab stories. Oh, that's so cool. That makes it look like a car. But it's people with shadows. These are the stories of Arab Nights, I believe they call it. Arab Nights. And this guy, Paul Bunyan, is a Canadian story about a lumberjack who was like 10 feet tall. He could cut down so many trees. Of course, he's not real. Maybe there was a Paul Bunyan who was quite amazing, but
Tales.
what is it?
Folk tales.
Folktale. That's exactly what it is, Mimi Milo. 4 points for Mimi Milo. So now is when I'm going to explain the difference between a folk.
1001 Nights.
1001 Nights. That's from what are the stories? The Arab Nights, Arabian Nights. Let me double check here. Arabian Nights, I believe it's called. Arabian Nights. These are famous stories. Okay, Arabian Nights, a movie. Aladdin comes from those stories. Yeah, Aladdin is the most successful one. Will Smith, Arabian Nights, 1999. Vivo. Oh, wow. Okay. Imagine a land, faraway place. Here we go. Is it 1001 Nights or Arabian Nights? Here we go. This is an explanation right now. 1001 Nights, also called the Arabian Nights, Arabic Alf Layla collection of largely Middle Eastern and Indian stories of uncertain date and authorship. So it's a collection of fairy tales from the Arab world and India. Aladdin is one of them, but they're folk tales. But what's important here about folklore? You said folk tale, and this is folklore. In English, folklore. Okay, I think folklore and folk tale is pretty much the same thing. I better double check just to make sure here. Well, tale is a story, right? Unlike folklore that encompasses a large variety of cultural heritage, folk tales refers to stories. Okay, folk tales is tale means a story. I'm going to tell you a tale. Telling you a tale means I'm going to tell you a story that have been passed down from ancestors, a particular group of people, or young generations. Yeah. So when your mom and dad or your grandma and grandpa in your village, they tell you about old stories about emperors and different eras in the past, and war stories, whatever it is, it's called folklore, right? Those are cultural stories that happened here in Vietnam. Those are tales. Those are stories. Some of them are true, some of them are not, right? Every time you tell a story, it changes a little bit. It's like your memory. Every time you retell a memory, the last thing you remember is what you said the last time. So let's say you have a memory of when you were 5 years old and you say, I remember when I was 5 years old, I did that, I did this, and I did that. But you said it when you were 9. And then you said it when you were 10 and 11 and 12 and 13. But every time you say it, your brain is actually remembering the last time you told the story. Because if you were to take a recording, right? You record and you told a story today about something that happened this year. And then next year, without listening to the story, you record that story again. But you don't listen to them. You just save them. So that 2022, when I went to the beach and saw an octopus. Okay, that story. And then in 2023, you tell the story again, record it and save it. 2024, record it and save it. 25, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2020, 30, 2020, 35. When you listen to that story again in 12 or 15 years or 20 years from now, a lot of that story will have changed.
Really?
Yep, because every time you retell a memory, your brain registers the last version of your story. And it'll be different, just a little bit, but it'll be different from the very first time you said it 15 years ago. It's kind of like when you get in a circle. We used to do this in Boy Scouts and Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, where we'd learn how to make knots and fires. Really fun for kids. And the instructor, what did they call the guy? I forget what they called him. He would put everybody in a circle, so say maybe 20 kids, and then he would whisper in the ear, okay, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down the hill and Jill fell on him, or, tell you a little story. And then you would have to turn around and tell the other person the same story in their ear. And then the next person would tell the person the same story in the ear, all the way around to 20. Then when it came back to the 20th person and they said the story, it was very different. You should try it with your friends. It's really fun. Really funny how the story changes so fast. Different perceptions. Everybody sees everything in a different way. And we also see things a different way every year. And we tell stories a little bit different all the time. So anyway, folklore is like that. Stories get changed all the time from one person to the next. At first he was 7 feet tall. He was a monster. 10 years later, he was like 9 feet tall and 250 kilograms. But really, he was only like 6 foot and 110. It just changes all the time. Okay. So therefore, folklore can be defined as people's knowledge passed on by oral being the most prominent form. Written visual means at any given time in history. Similarly, folk tales are tales and stories narrated by the folks or common people. These are thus passed on from generation. Okay, so very much folklore is the knowledge passed on. All right, so that's the story that's been passed on. Folk tales is when the story is being told, being read to someone. So when we read or watch a movie about Robin Hood, we are listening to or watching a folk tale. Okay, now the other thing is fairy tale. So what's the difference between fairy tale and folk tale? I kind of told you at the beginning. Do you remember? What's the difference between a fairy tale like Peter Pan or a folk tale like Robin Hood? There's a difference.
I don't know.
Fairy tale has mystical creatures that do not exist in it. Peter Pan has a little fairy, Tinkerbell, that flies around and talks to him, right? Fairies don't exist. When you watch Frozen, the movie, and you have a talking snowman, and you have all these, those are fairy tales, right? Or when the princess kisses the frog and he turns into a prince, it's a fairy tale. There's no frog that's going to turn into a prince, right? Or Cinderella is a fairy tale. There's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Those are fairy tales, fictional, mystical creatures. Any story with a dragon is going to be fairy tale because there's no proof that dragons ever existed. But Robin Hood is just about a person who fought against good and evil, right? Normal people were with him. There were no fairies. There were no dinosaurs. There were no werewolves or vampires, right? It's just normal people. That's a folk tale. Okay. Yeah. Paul Bunyan was a lumberjack. What's a lumberjack?
Bumble. Bumble.
What is a lumberjack? Anybody know what a lumberjack is?
The waiter.
A what?
Waiter.
A writer?
Maybe.
Donnie, I can't understand what you're saying, and all I see is your hair.
I think he's maybe a waiter.
A weapon.
Waiter.
Ugh. Paul Bunyan, lumberjack is a woodcutter. Someone who chops down trees. See, he's sitting on a tree stump. It's a big statue in Canada, Paul Bunyan. And again, the stories about Paul Bunyan over the centuries or however long it is, now he's a giant, and if he really existed, he was probably just a big woodcutter and very strong. Yeah, Aladdin, the genie's fairy tale.
Unfair.
It is. It's one of the saddest things in the world right now. Action that is unfair. What do we call something like that? The result of corruption and evil people and evil leaders that don't care about the people. The third world countries and these poor people that live on the streets is a result of people ruling all the resources and keeping all the money for themselves so that they can be billionaires and not giving back to the people and creating jobs and running their countries properly. And that's what causes all this poverty. She was born just like you and me, just a little child and eager to learn. But because of where she lives and lack of education, now she's a young girl in the street begging for food to feed her family. Or worse, working for people who are making her go out there and beg for money to give the money to them, which is usually the case. It's called an injustice. It's one of the saddest things in our world today because there's no need for it. There's more food. There's there's enough food. There's enough resources. There's enough land. The only reason there is injustice is because some people make it happen for their gain. Right? Just like the line here. I got all the money. Okay, I take this much, I give you that. And then down the line, once you get to the end of the line, there's no money left for that person. So it's all about power. It's called injustice. Justice, America is in a lot of trouble these days, and they're having a lot of problems. But the one thing that made America great is the rights to freedom and everybody could defend themselves with the law, and it was called justice, right? Justice means that if someone does something bad to you, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. In the court of law, you're even, and whatever is truly fair will be ruled, right? And that's called justice, true justice, which is what most of the world fight for, because most people want true justice in the world, for things to be fair for everybody, the same rights. But when it's not the same rights, like this child compared to the child of the man walking by or someone, then it's an injustice. She was treated unfairly. And that's what they call injustice, the opposite of justice. A very sad thing. Donnie's cousin.
Yes.
Do you believe aliens? Dinosaurs don't anymore. What's the missing word?
Acid.
Exist. That's right, Donnie.
Yes.
4, 2, 1. Exist. What's the opposite of exist? Dinosaurs do not exist anymore. So they are what?
Existed.
Existed? No. That's using exist in the past tense. They existed 65 million years ago. But now they are. It's ek again, but it's extinct. Extinct is the word. The opposite of exist. We exist today because we're here. We're alive. All right. But dinosaurs are not here anymore. I mean, they're still family members, like, you know, the turtles and the crocodiles and some of these reptilian ancestors of dinosaurs. But dinosaurs, as what they were 65, 75 million years ago, are now extinct. Extinct. Oh, is that right? Yeah. KS. Extinct. That's right. That's how we spell it. Exist means yes, we exist. Dinosaurs do not exist, so they are extinct. And I just watched an amazing documentary about octopus. Now, octopus actually, I forget what family they belong to now. But basically, they are older than the dinosaurs. They've been here for something like almost 300 million years. Originally, octopus had shells like snails, and they lived in the ocean and they had shells for protection. But somewhere around 160 million years ago, in a different time of species changes, they ended up losing their shells. And then they had to adapt to new survivals because they're really soft and they're really vulnerable. All right. But that's when they develop these different skills and they can change their color and they can hide so well. And they're extremely intelligent. They will actually pick up shells and coconut shells and things and carry them with them. And then when it's time to take a rest, they'll open the coconut and then hide their body inside and then close the coconut on top of themselves to hide from predators. They're very smart. Oh, yeah. And it's like their biology is very different, of course, from humans, too. They have like 5 hearts or something, too. 5 hearts. And if you cut one of their tentacles off, the tentacle is still alive. It's like it has its own little brain in it, and it reacts to touching it and everything. It's really, they are the closest thing to aliens than anything else we have on planet Earth. They are absolutely remarkable. If you watch any documentaries on those guys, octopus are incredible. All right, dinosaurs, aliens. Extinct. Yes. Yeah. Exist. Ha 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 ha.
Archer.
Arrow?
It is an archer. That's the official word. But what is she using? An arrow? But there's
Arrow?
2 words. There's 2
Bow.
words.
Bow.
3 words. And is in the middle.
That's the one.
And different people said each word.
Archery.
Well, that's what we call it now, archery. Well, I guess we probably always called it archery. But archery is the art. That's what you do. I do archery. But I use and
Arrow. Arrow and bow. Bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow is what I'm looking for. Oh, my God. They call it a bow and arrow. A bow and arrow. And when you say archery, it's right, but it's kind of like we talk about biology. Okay? So you have biology and the person is a biologist. Biology is the subject, right? What they do. And they use a microscope. the bow and arrow is kind of like the microscope. Archery is kind of like biology, and the archer is like biologist. But what they use is a bow and arrow.
To
Bow
attack.
is the flexible piece is the bow, and the arrow is the thing you shoot. That's right. But they also have a string, but they never say that. The string is part of the bow. And that's a lot of fun. I did archery when I was in school, and that was a lot of fun. But what was really funny is you notice the arrow has the little feathers at the back where you hold it. And that's to keep it so that it flies properly and balanced in the air so it doesn't wobble around. But those feathers, because the arrow, you torque it, you pull it back so far, and then you shoot the arrow. But if you don't put your hand the proper way when you hold the bow, see how her hand is pointed, her wrist is down. If it's high, the feathers will cut the top of your hand. And the first time I did it, I cut the top of my hand. It was like, oh, I was bleeding and everything. Those feathers act like a knife. It's unbelievable. So be very careful if you try archery. So what do we got? We've got Mimi with 4, Donnie with 3, Lily with 1. Oh, our next word after bow and arrow is going to be, you know what? This is the last interest that you're going to be doing sentence challenge with Miss Lay. After that, interest 21, you start doing all the sentences with me. Did you guys watch the last video? Interest 40 finale on the YouTube channel? Because Interest 40 just graduated from all the interest. Their CEFR C1. You have not seen that video yet? Why? Why? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't believe what I'm hearing. You must watch this. This is where you're going to go. This is the last lesson. We have two guests in the show. Right here, you see the last one here? Interest for speaking 40, lesson 9 finale. Edited 1 hour and 34 minutes. You see it right here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last class of Interest 40, CEFR C1. And in that class, we have 2 guest speakers. We have John from Australia and Giles, who is British. He's from England, but he teaches in Saudi Arabia. And there's Gappy. It doesn't show the other guys, but yeah, you should watch it. That's the last class, lesson 9, Interest 40. I just did their test this week, and they all finished and get their final certificate. So now they're going to go to advanced studies, IELTS with me. Okay. You should watch it. And don't forget to like. But it's a really good video. Well, see, you guys will be in here too. See, now what I did is I did interest 31 to 40 here, right? See, there's their tests from interest 39. And then we have interest 21 to 30, which is Jill and Adam from Indonesia, Nishka from India, Chi, Kevin, and Matt. There's 6 in that class. And then you guys, which are interest 19, Donnie is here. He was with Ming and Tom before. Pinky.
Who?
You here. You see yourself right there? Interest 18, Donnie?
Oh, I told.
Yeah, but you were with Tom and Ming before. And before that, there was Pinky and Lucy. But they've left because they finished their college now. And then Mimi Milo and Lily moved up from a lower level, and they are now in interest 19 and 20 now with you. And hopefully we'll have Yashini back, and then Emma will probably come back. But what I'm going to be doing is once we get caught up with keep the tests and everything, I'm going to edit all of these videos, all of the class videos. So any kid in the world will be able to watch lesson 1, interest 1, all the lessons, and then all of interest 2 and interest 3, 4, all the way to 40. So any kid in the world will be able to learn how to speak English by watching all of you go through the program with me and Miss Lay. That's the plan, to create free English for the world. So I edited this last class, not test, class, because it was the last one. So I did that and I posted it, but I still have to do all the other classes. Yeah. So yes, please watch it. It's very, very entertaining.
Yeah, this is the last.
I will play it at break time. So now let's stop sharing that and let's go back to sharing our vocab. All right, we're back to archery here. Bow and arrow.
Yes.
Okay. Few, some, many. What's in between?
Much.
Little.
Little is less
Few?
than a few.
Much.
Much is like many.
Several.
Several. 5 points from Mimi Milo. Bada bing, bada boom. Several, right? Few people came. A few people came. Some people came. Several people came. Not a lot, but several. Oh my God, many people came. Many is like a lot. Yeah, several. Can you say that, Donnie?
Several.
Several. Let's make it in 2 syllables. Several.
Several.
Yeah, well, that's 3 syllables, right? You can say several if you want, several, but most people, we don't say that. We just say several. 2 syllables. Try again, Donnie. Several.
Several.
Several. Yeah.
Several.
What was the other word we had today that is very common that we right? You can say interesting, right? If you look up the phonetics or the phonics on it, it's going to be interesting, right? 4 syllables. But most people say it how?
Interesting.
Interesting. They kind of skip the interest. Interesting. That's right. Just like comfortable. Most people don't say comfortable. They say,
Comfortable.
they don't say comfortable.
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 Comfortable. And just like temperature.
Temperature.
Temperature. That's right. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah, there's a lot of words like that where we kind of, when we're, if you look it up and you write it, it's 3 or 4 syllables, grammatically correct, but that's not how we say it in speech. And this is another one. Most people don't say several. They just say several. Several. Especially the ER words. See, justice. We want justice now. No more injustice. So, as the whole world should be saying, we want justice, fair and equality for everybody. No favoritism. What are we doing? I want it now. Give me
Request.
my ice cream.
Request.
Request is to ask, can I have my pizza now, please? That's request. I want my pizza now. What's that?
Really.
What's that?
Protest?
Protest. Well, protest is when you march and you argue against some policy or some law or some rule or some injustice. That's a little bit different. But this is and you're right, because she's outside and she's got a sign that really is a picture of protest. That's right. But it's kind of hard to find a picture for this because it's kind of like when you buy something and you get home and it breaks in right a minute. So then you go back to the store and you say, this is fake. All I did was turn it on and plug it in and it blew up. I want my money back now. What am I doing?
Oh. Hmm.
I want my money back now. Don't argue with me. Give me my money. You ripped me off. Or if your mom is yelling at you to go finish your homework because you haven't done it and she's really angry, go do your homework now. But mom, now. What is that?
Hmm.
What does a colonel tell his soldiers? When he gives commands to the soldiers, he is that something be done right now. No exceptions.
Judge.
No, judge is to evaluate, right? I'm judging you on how tall you are.
Justice.
Well, justice is equality, right? Fairness, true justice. Oh, you guys know this word. I guess maybe that protest is throwing you off a little bit. You want better service, so you. All right, let's go to the next one. Wow, what the heck? Where's the word? There it is.
Economy.
Demand. Why? Come on. What the heck? What the heck? There it is. Why won't it? Oh, this one is.
I can't see the picture.
It's acting weird. And when I play the video, the word disappears. Very weird. And then if I go back, the other picture comes up here where it's either demanding some money, ask for something forcefully in a way that shows that you do not expect to be refused. And then if I go click again to get the word up, it goes right to the video, next video. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. They're going to catch you. When the police catch the person they're chasing, what do we call that? He's not running very fast. He wants to get caught. Fake. Bad acting. Fake, fake, fake. No, you don't know this one?
I see.
To catch and arrest someone who has not obeyed the law. So when the police go find someone who they're looking for, like an outlaw, and they catch him and they bring him into the jail, what did they do? There's a word for that. Starts with an A.
Arrest.
Well, yeah. Once they catch him, once they him, then they arrest him. That's right. Arresting, yeah, that's when they accuse him with a charge. They bring him into custody. It's very much the same. But yeah, this is more about catching the person.
I can't see the picture. Wow.
You don't see the picture of the police officers arresting the boy or the police running in the car park? You don't see the picture, the videos?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Well, what do you mean you can't see it?
But I can see it now.
Oh, now you can. Was it frozen?
But I can't see the word
Well, the word's not up.
under the sentence.
Oh, to catch and arrest someone who has not obeyed the law. To catch and arrest. Okay. There's a new word for you guys. I don't think we've ever had that word. How do we say that? It's a pretty easy word. How do we say that? Give it a try, Mimi Milo.
Apprehend.
Yeah, apprehend. Apprehend. And that means to catch and arrest. They apprehended the suspect or the fugitive or the outlaw. To catch and arrest means to apprehend the person they were chasing. To apprehend the suspect. Apprehend. Donnie, apprehend.
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 Yeah, apprehend, Lily.
Apprehend.
Okay. Apprehend. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. A phrase or short piece of writing taken from a longer work of literature, poetry, etc., or what someone else has said. Ching, ching. What did he say? He said, I'm not going to the party. And it's like reported speech, right? When you repeat what someone else said exactly. So that way you don't have to use the past tense. Because what did he say yesterday at the meeting? He said in clink clink, I am not going to participate or sell this business. End of story. Right? He said that. So you can put it inside these things and you can use the present. What he said exactly at that time. What does that mean? What are they called? Nah. Or Einstein once said,
Coercion.
Again?
The coercion.
Quotation. That's really, 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 really close. You forgot one of the T's. Quotation. Quotation. Quotes. Yeah, when you quote someone, well, there's two different kinds of quotes. There's quotes like giving someone a price to do a job. And there's quotes like we have a famous quote on our wall downstairs in admin office, and it's from Nelson Mandela. And the quote is, he said, if I get it correctly here, the greatest superpower in the world is education. If everybody was educated properly, we wouldn't have the problems that we have today. Right? So, and the more you understand that, the more you realize it's so true. A big problem on the planet is too many people are uneducated. That's a really big problem. All right. Quotation.
Quotation.
Quotation. Yeah.
Quotation.
So what do we got now? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Still 7 words left. And we have Mimi Milo with 5 points, Donnie with 3, and Lily with 2. So still anybody's game here. Anybody can win. All right. So sometimes maybe you can apprehend the subject or the suspect because you think he's guilty, and you arrest him, but you got to collect a lot of stuff to prove that he did it. So the knife, the fingerprints, everything else, that's all
Proof.
you need a lot of proof. But what is proof? What are the things you actually collect, Donnie?
Evidence.
Evidence is correct. You need to collect the evidence. What is your evidence to prove that he did this crime? Yeah, right? Because, for example, you know, they catch the guy they think committed the crime, and they found the knife with the blood on it, or they found the bullets, right? You know, whatever it was. The crime happened. Someone did it. But just because I see you there and I see the knife or whatever, it doesn't mean you did it. You could just be the wrong place at the wrong time. So we got to have proof. We got to have evidence to prove you did it. Well, we have your fingerprints on the knife. Now we have evidence that you did the crime. Evidence. Donnie, 4 points. Okay, this is a period in time. What do we call this period of time? Back when Genghis Khan ruled the Mongol Empire. The years between January 1st, 1201 and December 31st, 1300. What do we call that 100-year period?
Eastern.
hard to believe that this castle, if you could see this real Castel de Monte, which was built in, is situated in the hill of Andria in the Puglia region of southern Italy. If you were to see this castle, I couldn't use a Google picture. This is the only one I could find that was copyright. But if you Google that castle and you look at how that was built and you're thinking, oh my God, that was built in the 800 years ago. Unbelievable how beautiful it is. Amazing.
13th century.
Yeah, the 13th century.
Hmm?
Now, it's called the 13th century, right? The 1st century, the 5th century, the 10th century, the 15th century. What century are we in today?
21st century.
21st century. That's right. Now, some people get confused because they think the 13th century, oh, that's 13,001, 13,005, 13,025. But what it means is that 13 centuries have passed. So it starts the first day of 2001 to 1201. Is that right? No, that's not right. January 1st, 1201. Oh, yeah. The year 2000 was still the 19th century. It wasn't until 2000. No. Yeah. Now, 20th century. Oh, my God. I always get confused on that 1 year, right? Because it's basically day 1 to 100. So the 100, right. Okay. So the first day they started the calendar, the first year, it's just like 1 to 10, but you have to finish 10 before you start the 11th or the 2nd century. So it's actually 101. That's right. So the year 1200 is 100 year periods. 100 is excuse me, is 12 centuries. So 1201, January 1st, is the beginning of the next century. So 12 centuries have passed at the end of 1200. So 1201 is the beginning of the 13th century. That's why now we're in 2022. Well, why aren't we in the 20th century? Well, no, because 20 centuries finished in year 2000. That's the end of 20 centuries. So 2001 and 2022 today, we are in the 21st century. But a lot of people get that confused. All right, good job, Mimi. Mimi, you have a 2-point lead over Donnie now. But Lily's still in the race. We have a here, kind of like a problem. This forced us to cancel our meeting. The flat tire. I think she coped very well under the of him leaving. A fact or condition connected with or relevant.
Trust.
What? Test?
Trust.
Trust. This trust forced us to cancel our meeting? I think she coped very well under the trust. No. 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 It's kind of like if you're in a little rubber dinghy boat and you're paddling out into the water and you see these fins and you think, wow, look at the dolphins. Let's check it out. And then you get there and it's a whole bunch of sharks. And then you're stuck in the water with a whole bunch of sharks circling you. It's a very bad to be in. These are not good. 5. Starts with a C.
C.
C-I-R. C-I-R.
C.
3.
Circumstance.
Circumstance is what we're looking for. Under these circumstances, under these conditions, under this situation, the circumstances, I think she coped very well under the circumstances. You know, he left her and she got stuck with the bills and maybe they have kids and oh my God, who knows? Difficult circumstances. This circumstance forced us. Okay, one circumstance here because they had a flat tire. Because of this circumstance, they had to cancel the meeting. Yeah, because of the situation at hand, the condition connected with or relevant, connected to an action that has happened or an event that has happened. Okay. Oh, geez. Circumstance. Donnie.
Circumstance.
Circumstance. These are not often it's used in plurals. It's very commonly used in plural circumstances, because usually it's a combination of different facts. I don't hear it very much singular. Circumstance. Mimi?
Circumstance.
One more time, Lily.
Circumstance.
6, 4, 3. Ba-da-bum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum. Aha. This is like a puzzle. This is like a
Coin?
riddle. No, but what do you call a bunch of coins? Or what do you call the money you get back? You buy something, it costs 65,000 dong, but you give them 100,000. What do you call the 35,000 they give you back? Are all these little hexagons or hectagons, I think. 6 sides, hectagon. They're not the same. They're all different and they're all moving. They keep
Collect.
No.
Oh.
They don't stay still. They keep moving. They keep. Look at all the spare I have. I could buy an ice cream with all the in my pocket. Oh, cash. That look like cash, all those hectagons? No. Hey, you didn't give me back the right. It's 65,000. I gave you 100. How come you only gave me 25? You got to give me 35. Hey, where's the rest of my? Or this word can be used in so many ways. My shirt is wet. I have to go. Or I take my dung and I go to the money changer and I exchange my money. What's another word for that? Get dollars for my dung. I don't like this jacket. It's the wrong color. I need to it. Oh my God, this is so easy. I've given you like 10 examples. Those hectagon things in the big picture, they keep moving. They keep position. Wowzers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bah. Unbelievable. Change. I need to change my jacket. The hectagons keep changing positions. Look at all the change, the coins I have in my pocket. I want my change back for buying that shirt. Change. Wow. Uh-oh. He's in trouble now. Said it earlier. Remember when they apprehend someone? Once they apprehend you, what do? When they put the cuffs on you.
Arrest.
Arrest. Oh, Lily makes it interesting. It is 6, 4, 4. 2 words left. It could be a tie. There could be no winners. if Donnie gets both or Lily gets both. But if Donnie gets one and Lily gets one, Mimi Milo wins. If Mimi Milo gets one, she wins.
I'm so hungry.
I'm not saying nothing. This is easy.
Yes, but
What, Donnie?
no.
No. Bah, wrong answer. To behave as if something is true when you know that it is not, especially in order to deceive people. He isn't really happy. He's just, oh my God, you guys need to go back.
Acting.
Go back to interest 19. This is too high for you guys. Pretend Lily gets 5 points. Uh-oh. Donnie is out of the race.
Me?
But Donnie is Mimi Milo's best friend right now. Because if Donnie gets the last word, Mimi Milo wins. If Lily gets it, we will have no winners this week. And if Mimi gets it, of course she wins. And this one's going to be tough. I told you about Robin Hood and the evil guy who represents the king in Nottingham. What did we call that guy? A person who represents the king or the queen in a particular county and whose duties are mainly in official ceremonies. In the US, it's an official whose job is to be in charge of performing orders of the law, courts, and making certain that the laws are obeyed with a particular county. A little bit different roles, but quite the same. But it's an older English word, of course. What do we call that guy? That representative. It's kind of like a captain of the police force. But in some places they call it. Oh, president is the top of the government. That's different. This is about the law and order. It's like the top of the police. For a county, for an area. It would be like the top policeman in Guangning. Some places they call him police chief. That's what we call them in Canada. Police chief of Toronto.
Protector.
No, it's not a protector. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're old. Sometimes they're fat and bald. Sometimes they're lazy. Sometimes they're really nice. But they lead the police department. Or back then, official representative of the law for the king in England. Oh my God. The word is in the picture.
Where? Castle.
In the picture.
Duties.
Not duties. But
Law.
Deputy work underneath this guy. Starts with an S.
Stop.
It's right there in front of your face.
It's hard to read.
Good. 5, 4.
Stop.
Shah. No, the Shah is in Saudi Arabia. 3, 2, 1. Ding. Miss Mimi Milo wins lesson 1 vocab champion. Wins the vocab
British?
challenge. Yeah, you got 6 points.
I just
Lily has
see
5 points.
the first letter.
It's right there on his badge. It says the sheriff. See it?
I can't see the R on the letter.
Oh, you can't see it? See, on my monitor, I can
just
read it.
see the S.
The F? The S.
Yeah.
Lily can't see the picture at all, right?
Of course.
And
Oh.
Donnie? You
I
don't
can
see
zoom
sheriff?
it, but I forget to zoom it. Oh no, now I can see it.
See, technology
I am
could have saved the
stupid.
day.
I can see it now.
Now you can see it.
But
the best.
see, it's a need.
You zoom it.
Too late.
Too late.
I need to zoom it.
Mimi
300.
Milo wins week 1. So we have a new leader.
New
I
leader.
can zoom it, but I forgot.
All right. Good job, Mimi. You got lucky, but you got the win. And it doesn't matter how you win, you just get the win. Just like I
Okay,
keep
guys.
saying, doesn't matter how you get the answer, just get the answer. All right. So I'm going to let you guys do the sentences with Miss Lay, and then I'll join you quickly for a little read with the legend of Robin Hood after.
Okay. You see that for Inters 20, even we all Vietnamese, but no meanings anymore. And we always send the vocab list into the messengers, like the group. So you will, if during the class you already copy, that's great. If not, you copy there and then you also find the meaning. Because what we would like to do in this level is like you try to think about the videos, right? The suggested one, and with Mr. Trevor's explanation and kind of like understand the meaning. So the first one here is for Donny, newcomer for this term. Long time no see, by the way. Rob
Wait,
is a verb. At least you know that is a verb. So what's your sentence with rob?
he robbed that computer.
Okay. Yeah, rob the bank or rob somewhere. But the thing here is, of course, it's the past, right? Past event. So we have to say rob the bank or rob the computer.
Rob the computer.
No,
Hack the computer.
Yes.
yeah, we should say, hacked or just rob the bank or rob, what is it, the house? No,
Yeah, rob the house.
the house. We can say that the bank, but not a computer, right? The computer is still stolen.
Well, they would have said, okay, you hack a computer or you steal a computer.
Stole the computer. Okay, Lily already gone, maybe because of her internet. So Milo, you here, you can do number 2. Ignore. That's the verb 2. And you remember the video?
I'm not listening. I'm ignoring you.
So what's an example with ignore? Milo?
Oh, yeah. So who was first?
Donnie first, and
Donnie
then
first,
Lily, but
Lily.
Lily already
Right.
gone because maybe internet or something.
She's here.
No, she's there?
She's back.
Oh, I couldn't see you. Okay. All right, Lily. So you still have to do number 2. Sorry. You number 2 and Milo number 3. So we just take turn. Okay. Ignore. Ignore something or somebody.
What's the ignore?
What?
What? What?
What's the question? You remember the video that the girl just tried to get attention from the guy, but he keeps playing with his phone. Remember? And the other video, small video, that's I think the woman also kind of ignore the phone, which is ringing, right?
She is ignoring him.
Oh, really? Good for me. Thanks. Okay, that's a sentence. Milo number 3. And here you know that this is this word has a few different meanings. And with this one, especially in our videos, it's the verb, right? The action, king and queen. But then now you know, right? In school you have rules, but home you have rules. But maybe if you can, you try to make a sentence with this word as a verb. Can you do that?
Me?
A verb? That's Milo. Milo number 3 first. As a verb, it means control, right?
Mm.
Milo, can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So that's your turn. Number 3 is your turn. I forgot my mic. rules. But I really would like you to try to give an example with rules as a verb. It's like almost the same as control.
The king is rules.
Ruling, because it's a verb, right? Yeah, people. And you can say that, or the fact, right? The fact they have a power, and you can say that the king rules the people in his country. Okay, that's just the fact. The king rules the people in his country. Okay, back to Donnie. Legend. Now, it's a noun, like a fairy tale, but this is legend.
He used to be a legend.
Oh, so this is a person too, because I know that it's like, oh, okay, you can say he's what?
Used to.
Used to be a legend. Okay, you can say that. Someone very famous or admired. Okay, yeah, it's a person, it's a noun, can be a person, or can be a story. Okay, back to Lily. Outlaw. Also the same, can be a person or a verb.
She is an outlaw.
Really? Where is she? She is an outlaw. All right. Kind of like some live without, doesn't follow the law. Yeah, usually like that. We call outlaw. Yeah, can be a verb or can be a noun as a person. She is an outlaw of this area, something like that. Okay. The next one here is folklore. That is Milo. The explanation, still remember that traditional story or culture, right, of a group of people. Traditional stories.
I have a book of folklore.
Cool. I have a book about the folklore, maybe of folklore. Yeah, here is the traditional stories or culture. So it's about that. I think it's okay. Traditional story. Close the door. Yeah, I have a book about the folklore, maybe of this area. Okay. A little bit more specific. The next one here is for Donnie. Yeah, same like unfair. You said that is like unfair, I remember. Justice is fair. So this one, injustice, is like unfair, but it's a noun. So what is your example?
Unfair.
Yes, kind of like unfair. But it's a noun. Justice. Injustice. What do you think is injustice?
In my schools, everything is injustice.
So we shouldn't say that, right? So we should say, in my school, nothing is injustice. Is it better, Donnie?
Yes.
Yeah, and then your teachers would love you. So we make 2 times negative. It means positive, right? In my school, nothing is injustice, right? Or is an injustice. It means that everything is fair. Everybody try to be fair. Just an example. But yeah, this one you can use it as a noun, and you can count like uncountable or countable. So it depends on the meaning. The next one here is for Lily. Exist.
My friends think my stupid friend thinks that dinosaurs
Still exist.
exist.
Okay. See, like Mr. Trevor usually say that we have a different Perspection, right? Perspective. So for some reason, she still thinks that dinosaur exists. That's an example. Number 9 for Milo, bow and arrow. Of course, it's from the story about Robin Hood. So we also kind of like review these words too.
The skeleton in Minecraft use bow and arrow to try to kill the player.
Secure the place.
Try to kill the player.
Okay. All right. Use bows and arrows to do something. Okay. Back to Donnie already. Only 3, so it's very fast to get to your turn. Several.
This is the bees.
You know this, yeah? Several. This can be adjective.
Several.
But what is several means?
Meaning some, like an amount that is not exact, right? Just a few, several, or some. Yeah, this level a little bit challenging because no Vietnamese here. I know that we still have habits, of course. That's look at the meanings and make sentences. So this one, we really have to focus. And when we watch the videos and Mr. Trevor explains the meanings, I think that we have to kind of try to understand, remember, because we don't have meanings from now on, Vietnamese meanings in the vocab list. It means some, Donnie, some, a few, amount. For example, I can say that I have several English books. It means that the books in English, right? Several, just some, a few. So what's your example?
My friend has several.
Not several is like a some, so cannot say some, just several. My friend had, yeah, you want to use past form?
Yes.
Okay,
Several.
My friend had several what?
Oh, candies.
My God, that is the what, Trevet's example?
No.
You can do better. That's Trevet. It's not Donnie. Donnie should say that I have several best friends. We usually hang out at the weekend, play football together and have fun. Something like that. Not like my friend has several candies. But at least you know the meaning this, yeah? Like a some or a few. About something. Okay, the next one is for Lily. Demand. And Mr. Trevor repeated a few times about your laptop. Not your laptop, but the laptops. So what do you demand? Or what is your demand?
Let I think.
Huh?
Let I think.
Let me think. Okay, I let you think. 5 seconds. Ask for something, but forcefully, like very, very strongly, right? Very aggressively. Usually you just say, I need, right? I need this. I need an explanation for this. I need the answer for this. It doesn't sound really strong, but with demand, very, very strong, right? So what's your example with demand? After the school year, everything finished and you had, or
My
you
younger
have
sister demand me to give her $5,000.
Demands, right? So you want to use it as like a usually sometimes, or you want to use it as the past event. Because if it's already happened, you have to say demanded, right? So say once again about the tense, because I couldn't like get it clear about the tense you used. My sister
My sister demanded me to give her 5,000 Vietnam đồng.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of very strong, right? Maybe if you didn't do it, she can like do something. Okay. Yeah, demanded me to do something. That's very strong. The next one is for Milo. This one is almost the same meaning as arrest, right? Apprehend. It has a few different meanings, but in this the content, same like arrest. So what is your example?
The meaning on that is to catch and arrest. Apprehend.
Catch and arrest. Okay.
Yeah, combined. Catch and arrest. To apprehend the suspect.
But I'm sure in Vietnamese it's the same. Yeah. Catch. Yeah, catch and arrest. But in Vietnamese, you know, they really like a same. It's just a verb. So you may just tell story, right, Milo? Just maybe imagine a story. Who apprehended, right?
Police apprehend the criminals.
Yeah, you can say that, but it's so general, right? So it already happened. I guess that the first thing, or maybe you just say that it's general, that usually police, it's just their job. The police, if something happens, the police apprehend criminals. Yeah, I think you can say that because actually that's the duty. Okay, you use present simple. All right, so back to Donnie, number 13. Quotation. You know that Mr. Trevor's example is like someone saying, right? Yeah, like education is the solution or something like that. But it's also like the price. For example, we try to make a deal, right, with another business, something like that, and they have to give us the price, and then we agree, we disagree. So it has a few different meanings too. So what's your example with quotation, Donnie?
Quotation, I don't have any ideas.
Maybe in this level, maybe we'll try to use, because I guess that just from the vocab challenge to this part, it's not easy for you to kind of like understand or remember. We have to say that all the meanings, but we will get used to that, and maybe we have to check the meanings sometimes to really get over this part. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a few quotations, but in my office there is nothing. It's just a noun, Donnie. It's just a noun.
Question. You can explain it one more time.
No, for example, it's like okay. It's just a noun, so it can be subject, right? It can be object. You can say, yeah, it's like a phrase or a short piece of writing. Yeah, so we can say that, for example, you read something as a quotation, you said that the quotation is really meaningful to me, right? You kind of suddenly realize something, suddenly understand something. So it's just a noun. We make very simple sentence. We say that the quotation. I don't know about that because you didn't say, but you put the, it means that it's specific. In your mind, you know what it is. For example, Mr. Trevor's example about, who is that? Like education is really plays very important role, right? So you said that the quotation is very meaningful. So that is an example, right? To me. Okay. Don't find it. It's very simple. Just know that here is that the part of speech is like this, and we just try to make sentences fast.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You want to make another one? My example for you is the quotation is very meaningful to me. And with my sentence, it means that it's the praise, right? Or a short piece of writing. It's not the prize. So I took that meaning, right? So what's your example? You still want to give one with quotation?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss Lê explain for me about what is quotation means.
That's right. Sometimes it's like that, right? Explained. But when we play this part, I really would like you to slow down a little bit. And because English is our second language, so we kind of have to focus a little bit on the ending sounds, and we slow down a little bit, right? With Mr. Trevor's explanation, we try to apply the pronunciation rules and everything to our part a little bit. Okay. That is Donnie. So Lily, evidence. Still remember this, right? You know this word.
It's a fake evidence. Don't believe it.
Okay. It's fake. So you have to get other evidence to show that this one is fake. Okay. The last one of this page is for Milo. It's just a time expression, 13th century. So what do you know? What do you want to say about 13th century? You know anything related to this time?
So I am very good at history.
Yeah, so we can say just the truth, and we have to learn every day. So after this class, you can search some events or some important historic things, events at this time. But now for this part, because it's already too long, it's 2 hours already. So it just announced. So can you make a simple sentence using this word or phrase, actually? 13th century. My example is like, I don't know much about.
If I ask a question about the events of the 13th century, many people can't say it.
Okay. Very, very long, but that's good. We should put more, we can make our sentence detailed. We use what we already learned, and then we don't lose them. That's good. Milo, so it must be Donnie. Circumstance or circumstances.
Meaning?
Almost like a situation.
Yeah. What is meaning? Meaning of questions. What is the?
You remember like the facts or the events that make the situation the way it is, right? Almost like a situation, or kind of like almost, yeah. Fact or event. Here are the fact or event that makes a situation the way it is. So this level really, I think, is really, it becomes more challenging without the meanings, and then we really have to focus a little bit more. So what's your example?
I will make this. Donnie says that he doesn't know what conviction means. Oh,
he didn't know the meaning of circumstance.
Yes.
Was, yeah, okay. But you cannot just constantly use like that. Yeah, you know that the phrase with this one, actually, I think that we should know is like under the circumstances. Under
these circumstances, there will be no break.
I think
why
so.
no break?
But I need the break. But under these circumstances, we cannot have a break time.
Why?
Yeah, circumstances. You can. The phrase under the circumstances is very good to know. All right, so Milo for some reason already gone. So Lily, change. Lily. Circumstances. Circumstances, not stances. But I usually say stances.
17 or 16?
Yes, 17. And 17, I know that you guys didn't get this. It's like a small money, right? When you buy something, you give a note and then they give back some small money. That's one meaning, of course. The other is the verb, that, for example, we say the things are changing all the time, right? So it's a verb. We already know this.
She changed her profile picture.
Changed. Okay, her
Profile picture.
profile picture. Okay. So
There's a
now,
lot of meanings for change.
of course, but the thing that it looks like they didn't figure it out. It's the small money, right? Small money
Yeah.
you get back from the seller.
Yeah.
Number 8, Donnie. So this time you have to make the proper sentence.
8.
You cannot say that Miss Lay asked me to make a sentence with arrest.
Or
Oh.
I'll call the
I ask
police.
everybody. Arrest.
Okay.
All right.
Next.
A good sentence before we move to the other part.
Because of him robbed that computer and the police arrest him.
Police arrested him. Yeah, so just because, not because of, right? You said because, right? Not because of. Because, right?
Because he broke that
Because
computer.
he robbed the computer. So the police arrested him. For this part, Donnie, in this time, we also have to focus a little bit to the tense, right? In a sentence, it must be one tense or maybe more than that you use. So we also have to try to put the verbs in the right tenses. Okay, arrested, it already happened. Milo's back. So it's what? It's number 19. 19 is Milo. Pretend.
Sorry, I cannot start my video.
You cannot.
It's an error.
Cannot start my video.
I already asked to start your video. Maybe it can.
She said she can't.
Sometime it's from us, but I didn't do anything. I already asked. Okay, Milo, number 19. Pretend. This one is not. This word is not new. Just really. Can you hear me, Milo?
Yes.
19, please. I don't know why that your video, your webcam is not working.
It's not working.
Yeah, but we still can hear you, so you still can make a sentence before you can fix that. And we move
Sentence
on.
for 19, Milo.
Wait,
For what?
I have
Christmas?
a lag.
I have a what?
Lag.
I have a lag. Hey,
Lag.
then how can you tell me you have a lag if you have a lag?
I know,
Come on.
but it's really
Sentence.
slow.
I can hear you talking. Give us a sentence.
So maybe Donnie,
Me?
but Milo, she's back.
You back. Okay.
Donnie, maybe we have to open another class only for you to make sentences. You become an expert, right?
Please don't.
Please don't, and then you cannot. Milo, 19.
I'm interested in sentence.
She just pretend that she is happy.
But the thing is, what is the tense? I'm kind of like care a little bit more about tense. He pretends. So what is tense? What tense that you used?
He is pretend that she is happy. So what would it be? Think about the when. When is he doing this?
Because we also have to follow the rules, right? If just present simple, so what we have to do with the verb? Because you cannot use the base form with the third person like a he. So how can you put pretend in the right tense? So once again, say it once again. He
She is not happy. She is pretending.
Okay, you can say that, right? So he's not happy and he just pretends.
She is.
Oh, she. Okay, she. Not much different because still the third person. But yes, you are a little bit like the sound's a little bit broken. Couldn't hear you well.
No, it's
Yeah, but my
bit.
point here is, you know, that in the speaking test, you know that we have the part that grammar in use, right, or in speech. With the sentence, if it's now is the fact that is still present, he just pretends. So you have to show us that you use the present simple for third person, right? You put s there and you have to pronounce this. He pretends that he is happy, but
She's
it's not
happy.
right. Oh, she. Okay, she.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one here is for Donnie.
But just a quick one there for Milo again, right? Because remember, if he's doing it now every day, right? He pretends that she is happy. Or right now in the situation, because you see him, he is pretending that she is happy, right? You got to make it present, unless it's in the past. Then you said he was pretending, or he pretended that she was happy.
I thought that she just used one subject, right? He and he, or she and she. Now he
was pretending that she is
Wow.
very happy.
So it's like a little bit hard to understand, but okay. One way or the other, the sentence has to fall in one tense at least, right? And we have to focus on this a little bit.
Right, Lily?
In our speaking. Donnie, sheriff, it's just a job, just a position
Let me think.
that you think. Okay, 5 seconds.
The sheriff was killed by the killer when the police are trying to arrest the killer.
What the hell?
You say it's more than half.
But not arrested, right? Also the same. It must be past event. Cannot do every day like that. So,
But you put
maybe
3 sentences in one sentence.
the sheriff was killed when the police tried to arrest him.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes the police has to kind of like
But the sheriff is the police. The sheriff was killed by the outlaw.
outlaw or the robbers. Okay.
Yoy, yoy.
So you see the challenge, when all the words here without meaning. So you see the foreigner students actually is more challenging to them than us before, because they have to automatically fast to kind of understand the meanings and give the example. So now it's fair. No double standards, no Vietnamese meaning anymore, right?
Welcome to
But okay, so that is it for my part. I guess that you
That's
can do.
why you use Google.
Yeah, you will quickly have the reading with Mr. Trevor. And by the way, Mr. Thắng won't make it tonight
Oh,
for
okay.
the class. Okay, so you can
Good.
make it a little bit longer. Okay, bye from Miss Lane. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, Miss Lay.
Ciao.